starting off with Donald Trump, and we have a couple Trump adjacent and administration things here to get started with. But we aren't talking about so much the big, beautiful bill. We get to that one in an actual story before. We're not talking about the crypto scam that happened last night, the meeting with the folks that bought up all the crypto with him in Mar-a-Lago, or maybe it wasn't Mar-a-Lago, but it was at one of his golf courses. I think it was in Florida, and it was people he met on his personal time. But we're going back to a few days ago, and back to the meeting with South African president, and the images and the talk of the genocide going on in South Africa. With the headline for story number one being Trump's image of dead white farmers from Reuters footage in Congo, not South Africa. So not only was he lying, the footage that he used was just totally off. During the recent Oval Office visit, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa met with U.S. President Donald Trump, and he brought a bunch of folks with him from South Africa to do some dealings talking about the loveliness of the nation and how they want to do some deals. They want some investments with the United States so they don't have to deal with China and Russia. But Trump had another ambush. He presented images that he claimed depicted South Africa and its farmers and the genocide that's happening for white farmers there. One image he showed on a printout was a still image from a Reuters video that was taken in Goma, Democratic Republic of Congo, the Congo, which is not South Africa. And it actually showed humanitarian workers handling bodies in bags after clashes of M23 rebels. So these weren't even white people. These were body bags of dead black people in the Congo. Reuters confirmed the footage's origin and the actual story behind it, and actually had people talk to the journalists who took these pictures, expressing shock at the misrepresentation, essentially just saying the whole thing was off. Also depicted was a video that was showing a burial site, as Donald Trump said, with all these crosses. And in fact, it was actually in a fight between Carolyn Levitt and I think Yamiche Amadachi, I always mess up her name, I'm sorry, from MSNBC, going back and forth saying this wasn't actually a burial site. It was a memorial, and it was temporary, and it was like 5 years ago. And then, of course, Levitt went on to say this was a burial site where all these bodies and each cross represented a person who died and each something. So if that many people had died in the atrocity that was there, the person who actually erected that actual memorial 5 years ago came out to speak and said, this does not exist anymore. It was temporary. It was there. It was going against a lot of devastation, a lot of the killing from a lot of people. And that's what was there. Why it got categorized as this burial site for South African white people, no one knows. No one knows. How this picture got wrapped into the genocide picture for Donald Trump when it was not even in South Africa, even though Donald Trump's like, oh, it was in South Africa. No one knows how these things happen. Someone tells Trump something and he believes it, and he goes along with it, and he tells a story, and he's so great at selling stories, he sells that story. However, if you have dealt with any salesman in the world anytime, even if they're selling you a great story and have a great thing to sell you, you can usually tell where the story's going. And the big thing about salespeople is their goal is to get you to want to buy. And if you want to buy it, you'll buy it regardless of what's going on. So whatever lie, whatever story, whatever thing they throw at you is there. Donald Trump is selling a story that he believes, but unfortunately, no one wants to buy it and no one believes the story. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?